Hello and welcome back to Global TV Talk Show. Our very special guest today, as you know, is James Moss. And there he is in between Curzon Central and AbsoluteReload.com. Welcome back, James.
Hey, thank you very much, Ed. Great to be back with you again.
Yeah, welcome to the audience again. And thank you for being a member of Global Press Club. Um, I'm going to get into that a little bit later. Let's talk about you and your pursuit of excellence in customer service using your unique background. So
Yeah,
Curzon
yeah,
Central. Let's chat about Curzon Central. And this is focused on property, right?
yeah. Curzon Central. Curzon is property on that we have in London and New York, and we've been in London for about 25 years, and we've been in New York for getting on for 10 years now, which is great. So what Curzon does in London is really sort of property management and that type of thing, has a very substantial private client base. Curzon in New York is developing in a very similar way, combined with relocation. So Curzon in New York is really doing a couple of things at the moment. So in the world of relocation, it's working directly with some RMCs and DSPs, friends and people we know very well from both the States and UK and internationally. And on that side, we help them source property, which we can do directly because we're licensed agents over here. So people just want property sourcing, we get very happily do that for them. We also provide what I'd call traditional relocation support. So some of our clients want helping out with things like sort of settling in programs, a bit of area orientation, opening of bank accounts, driver's license, that sort of stuff, sort of soft services. And Curzon are very happy to do that, and we do that as a sort of mainly as an added value, to be honest with you. But we will also do it as an independent service if that's what those particular clients like. So it's all based really around real estate with sort of soft support. Most real estate agents don't do the soft support stuff. All they're interested in is getting their commissions, and that really is their bottom line. So we go, well, I'd say the extra mile, we actually do a lot more than that. In London, again, it's more private client and so on. But we're actually now doing quite a bit of private client work here in New York. And we're doing it with local clients, American clients. We're also bringing very good quality properties into New York to do and introduce them to New York buyers. So we have a sizable portfolio in London. We're acting for developers. They're fairly high-end properties in places like Belgravia, Knightsbridge, Chelsea, South Ken, where traditional American buyers like to be. And we also provide a support relocation service through Curzon there, really to American and international clients in London. We have great partners in London. So we're not really in the UK market relocation space. It's really helping our clients who need some support over there. And also we do refer to other relocation companies over there, partners for us. So we're sort of nimble on our feet.
So to what extent, if I could jump in for a second, like for instance, Belgravia is a neighborhood sort of behind Buckingham Palace, if I recall.
Yeah, it's a super high-end location. It's about, I don't know, 10 minutes from Harrods, 10 minutes from Sloane Square. It's walking distance to Chelsea. You're not that far from Park Lane. You've got all the hotels and so on. It's very select. It's very popular with Americans, actually. Margaret
Rich
Thatcher,
Americans.
yeah, rich American. Um, yeah, so Margaret Thatcher used to live around the corner there. Arguably, probably the most expensive address in London is just up the road from there, which is Eaton Square, which everyone sort of waxes lyrical about, which is great. Personally, it's not my favorite because the leases are too short. But but if you want, you want to wave your flag and flash your cars, then those sort of locations are good. There's a lot of old money there. Um, but the rental markets are really hot in both London and New York. So being able to manage both cities is really, really helpful to clients. Be it investment clients or relocation clients.
So
Um,
these people would go back and forth, London, New York.
yeah, it's interesting that a number of people tend to go to London, say from the finance community or the tech community, actually, is a really big one at the moment. And they're going to be there for 2 to 5 years, something like that. Often they buy. It's a better bet than renting, frankly. You still get terrific capital appreciation. I mean, any agent would be looking at me and going, "Harry, what are you talking about? The market's terrible at the moment." Well, it's not actually. In London, the market, the mainstream market, quality market, has hardly shifted down, which is the important thing. And capital values will continue to go up. I mean, we're advising clients all the time on that. Sometimes you have to hold a bit before you move, and that's sort of where a few people are at the moment. But instead of chucking out huge amounts of money on rent, why don't you buy an asset
Yeah.
and take the carry with that?
So let's talk about your relationship with Brown Harris. What's that about?
Well, Brown Harris are a fabulous firm in New York City. They have 55 offices. They have in the New York metro area, and they've got some offices down in Miami and Palm Beach. They're very good, well established in the Hamptons. They have 2,400 agents. The thing is, they are the sole remaining high-end independent real estate broker in New York. So all the others, the Corporums of this world and the Coldwell Bankers and so on, are all owned by much bigger public firms. So it's much more, the expression someone used the other day to describe them was collegiate, which I thought was a really good way of putting it, because there is a real sort of community to it. The agents, incredibly high caliber. I work with, I work with guys, I use that generically, many who are lawyers, for example, who decide to move into real estate, ex-bankers. It's a really high caliber, interesting group, incredibly dynamic. And we run some of our bigger stuff through them, actually. So going back to Belgravia, we have 4 luxury apartments in Belgravia we're marketing at the moment, between 10 to 12 million US each, and we're running them through Brown Harris. So we're generating some interest, and about to bring another big development in the Bahamas through them. Again, at much higher numbers. And the reason for that is because their coverage and the quality of their client base is so good. The other thing about them is that they're very good on the rental support side. So we can use them to extend our reach beyond Manhattan and Brooklyn, if you like, and Metro New Jersey. So we can really provide incredible expert service to our clients in both the relocation world and need be on the private client side through their extended office network. So it's very powerful to have that whilst we still stay independent. It's a good combo.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, so you're going to London in a few weeks. That's not just for family, but it's for keeping in touch with
Well,
everything.
it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And it's the one time I love Thanksgiving in America. I love it outside America too. But what's really nice about it is that it's the one time that everyone gets together. It's secular, which is great. Everyone becomes a pilgrim for a day. I love that. My kids come home from school together for a week, which is almost unheard of in our family because everyone's on different schedules. Yeah, so we're hopping on the plane, we're going over to London. It's family and it's business. I mean, whenever I go, I'm always meeting clients and contacts and stuff like that. So it's going to be a great trip. Looking forward to it.
All right, let's shift gears for a few minutes remaining and talk about your Gee Whiz toy, AbsoluteReload.com.
Yeah, great, great. Yeah, absolute. Really, really happy, pleased with the way it's going. It's hard work. I mean, it's really hard work. But we are getting some great traction now. It's so easy to use, and it's so multi-generational. I thought it was going to be Gen Z, but sort of anybody can use it. So really pleased with the way that's coming on. We're working for new clients, which is always fantastic. It's we're based in New York and London, but our service is global, and we're getting some really interesting situations coming up. And the tech side just keeps getting better. We just actually brought on 2 new tech managers to sort of beef up and manage that side of the equation. So yeah, and it's all supported by Curzon and where Curzon operates. So it's a great combination. And Absolute's becoming just more and more powerful. It's beginning to get some decent market share.
So the people that are using Absolute are techies or just normal people.
Almost like us, not particularly techy.
So because it's so
Uh,
easy to use, one
it's a phone. It's a phone. At the end of the day, it's a mobile phone. That's what it is.
yeah.
And it all happens on that between two willing and able people. And it's great. It's great. It took a lot to build it. But it's super secure, it's encrypted, it's instant, and it's totally transparent. So it's very good.
So a mutual friend of ours, Lynn, came up with her company idea because of her own experience while on assignment in London, where she didn't know anybody and nobody took her around and introduced her for some reason. Who knows what went on. But anyway, the idea of people being isolated is a scary thing and can cause some mental issues as well as impact production, work production, because you don't have a life, you're isolated. Absolute, you created Absolute for that kind of situation, as I understand it.
Yeah, it sort of feeds into that a bit. I mean, when people move for work these days, or they're moving for other reasons, they're often connected already. I mean, social media has a big part to play. I mean, I look at my kids who are quite growing up quickly, and I have a daughter in Australia who's very grown up. And it amazes me how one is so connected anyway these days. Again, I think it's generational to some extent. I think if Lynn was doing it again, it would be very different, actually. The other thing I would say is where I think she's really got it right is the importance of community and communication. And I think what we do here, or what we do with Absolute, is we look to grow our community and connect people within the community. I think Lynn's got a great approach, and I think she'll be very successful with that. And I'm pleased that we have her as a partner.
When
But
you say community, what's
well,
underneath that?
okay, so I've relocated, I think, 4, 5, or 6 times in my life. And what's interesting is that it's so much better if you can share the experience with people who are also going through the same thing. And picking up on the sort of wellness, the mental wellness thing, it's so important to not feel alone. Okay. So if I'm moving to San Diego, where you are, Ed, for example, I would love to be, in touch with other people who are also moving to San Diego, or who may be moving somewhere else. Not necessarily San Diego, but California or something, who are going through very similar sort of personal, cultural types of experiences. And guess what? Birds of a feather do tend to flock together. And mentally, if this is one of the things I love about working with expat communities, whatever they may be, is because people are used to moving. They're going through those experiences, and they relate to other people who are also going through those experiences, and it creates a sort of womb like environment, and it can be really, really helpful. So I'm a big believer in that. It's a space that we will certainly be extending and building further as we go along.
And now on the other side of the coin, you mentioned community and then communications.
Yeah. Well, the two sort of go a little bit hand in glove. You have to be, to interact, you need to communicate. I think one of the really interesting things is that we went through the hell of the pandemic and the changing work patterns and all the rest of it. And the fact that we're here and we're doing a Zoom call and so on, it's an everyday event. But what I think is really important is that people start meeting up and getting back together in person. So something we're looking at is how we develop that space with our relocating communities. And we have a few really interesting thoughts on how we're going to take that forward, which I'm not going to share just here at the moment. But I think that's a really important part of the equation. It's not just being on a video call or on a phone call. It's actually quite nice to meet up with people.
Thanks for being on Global TV Talk Show again. This little chat gives good background, gives agency and info. Communications is a word that you're using, and we like to fit right in hand in glove in that thing with you. And you help me expand the audience for Global TV because of the clarity of your focus and your own personal experiences. You're so in touch with what's needed in the marketplace places that you're fitting your resources. You're refitting your established resources while at the same time developing and innovating on the go with Absolute. And I think that's a terrific story.
Well, thank you. It's always a little bit of juggling. When you're doing sort of running two brands rather than one type of thing, but they're so interconnected, which is great. And just a quick plug for you, Ed. I love being on your show, and I love catching up with you. And you have a great audience, and I get some super feedback. from from people who I don't necessarily know particularly well. And so big thank you for inviting me and continuing to do so.
All right, be well, and I'll see you in a few weeks in New York.
See you in New York.
Ciao.
Ciao.
And I'm going to sign off from San Diego. Um, very important times. Our London meeting live in person will be December 7, hosted by the bank, the Global Trade Bank, HSBC, inside their headquarters on Canary Wharf, which is Wall Street, London. And we did it with them last May 9, and it worked sufficiently well for their purposes. They invited me to come back and do more. This event on December 7 will be, rather than a conference, will be a workshop throughout, highly interactive on every topic. And James, I welcome you to tune in from anywhere in the world where you'll be in the afternoon sessions, which will be on Zoom.
I'll definitely be there.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Thank you.